different GPA coming into law school, don't have any different LSAT score. It was a bad 2 years. Mm-hmm. Those folks are out there, and they very much want to be working. They want a way to re-enter, and you're going to be at a point where you take a lateral in, and there are many diverse attorneys among that group. Mm-hmm. So part of this is rethinking, do you bring them in to do Dodd-Frank work? Do you bring them in as contract attorneys? How can you take advantage of I believe there's a very strong lateral market there that is not people that you're going to be hiring from other major law firms. They're still out there. They may have gone to government first. They may have gone to smaller firms first. They may have done contract recruiting, which, was the death knell, for years. But this was a way of earning a living, developing their skills, and not watching Oprah. Mm-hmm. And so, and this is a very strong group, and you will find a strong group of diverse candidates among them. And it's a very, I've done the analysis of the grades and what happened, from fall 2007, fall 2009. Shocking. The GPA requirement went up for our students. 44% of the firms increased their GPA requirement by a minimum of 0.3. So it went from 3.4 to 3.7 to 3.1 to 3.4. Okay, so if that happened, across the board, you've got a whole slew of people who are out there who are extremely well qualified. They're no different than the students a year before or a year after. And I think the way is to bring them in, but you've got to be open-minded, about that. Great. So,
Right. Okay, there's a couple of things that I want to make sure that we get to before we wrap up. One, at the end, I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to we kind of go around the table. At the beginning, we had you all kind of reflect on some of the changes. I'd like for you all to project on, some of the things that you think will be happening in your organizations over the next 5 years. So I want to make sure we save time for that. But I know there's one question and our line of questioning that's really weighing heavily on a lot of your minds now is starting to think about fall recruiting. So I want to circle back, talk a little bit about entry-level recruiting before we do that final round, and just talk about this movement that we've been seeing for the last couple of years. More and more schools are moving to August interviewing, how that's impacting the firms, how they're coping with that, how schools are coaching students to cope with those pressures. So we'll start on the school side. And Irene, would you like to talk a little bit about how you're handling this?
So the August compression is something that, again, we will have arrived when we solve this, this issue. But one of the major things that students have to do is communicate early and be in touch with employers, and particularly in communities where the employers may not be coming to campus. So that might not be anyone at this table, but if they're in another community over the summer and that's where they want to be, we certainly are encouraging them to be in touch early on. We also want to level the playing field for firms by ensuring that no offers are extended until early interview week begins, because that starts happening when firms are competitive and